Before we get started on how to build our network maps, I wanted to talk briefly about some of the ideas involved and where they came from. Network maps are based on the work of Bruno Latour and of Michel Caillon in the 1980s. And even though both of these gentlemen were sociologists, they devised ways of analyzing issues that pertain to science and technology. They called this actor network theory, or ANT for short. In actor network theory, simple everyday entities, in this example a mobile device, form a complex network of interactions and influence with other objects that are both living and non-living. An entity, either living or non-living in this network, is termed an actant instead of being an actor, because an actant can denote something that is both biotic or abiotic. We tend not to think about all the power that an actant may have inside of its network, such as the cell phone, because when we think of an object like a cell phone, we think mostly of the semiotics of the cell phone. And what semiotics are the signs and the symbols, sometimes that are subliminal, things that are occasionally actually advertised to us to tell us how to think about that cell phone. So when I think about my own cell phone, I may think about immediate things that come to mind, like the branding, perhaps the symbols they use to sell the phone. So for instance, I may have an iPhone, I may have an Android phone. I'll start to think about the different words and phrases they use to sell and market the cell phone to me, and those will be the primary ways that I think about that cell phone. In fact, there may be a gigantic range of both abiotic and biotic factors that actually are the true message or meaning behind that cell phone. And a good way of thinking about all these different effects are to split them into STSE effects. So that stands for science, technology, society, and the environment. And then you can go ahead and start to list and brainstorm all the different ways, and also through research, that cell phones may be affecting us. And here I've listed just a few to wrap our heads around some of the ways that cell phones may have an effect on us. And remember, these effects will be both abiotic and biotic. Because we tend to think only about the semiotics or the hidden messages of many actants, they can be termed black boxes, as we usually aren't aware of all the abiotic and biotic power relationships that are involved with bringing them into being. So because actants are seemingly simple on the outside due to their semiotics, but are in fact incredibly complicated, as they have all those abiotic and biotic factors, they in fact have power or agency in the network. These are some of the factors of just one actant. If you can map out the relationships of multiple actants and the networks they create, you gain the ability to better understand your STSE issue.